What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel Sports, Life, and Politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective, and I'm here for the news. And we're going to be going over several news clips like we do every other day. But we ask the questions that the news anchors, they just can't ask. And ask the questions that a lot of times you ask at home. You're watching the news and you see something that's plainly obvious and you wonder, why in the hell aren't they asking these questions? And right here, that's what we do. We ask the questions that nobody else is asking. Let's take a look at this first clip. This first clip is the Travis Scott concert that happened last year, Astro World Festival, which was one big ritual and human sacrifice. There's no doubt about it. Still to this day, there's a lot of unanswered questions. But the Houston Police Department report highlights terror from concert goers. Now, we already knew that because we've seen a lot of the highlights before. But the thing is about that is that who pays the price for allowing these things to happen? Obviously, Travis Scott. The day of the report being released, he also released his album. Do you think that's a coincidence? I think not. Do you think Travis Scott gives a flying flamingo about any of these people? He don't, because he's a Luciferian and a devil worshiper. There's no doubt about that. But let's take a look at the clip and see what the Houston Police Department had to say about this whole case.
An attorney representing hundreds of Astroworld Festival goers says HPD's final report confirms what they believe, that profit was put over people.
Rowan Beloga continues our live coverage tonight from the NRG Park. Rowan?
So, Andy, these are the images of the 10 people killed during Astroworld Festival. Reach out to their family members. They are unable to speak due to an gag order. However, the report reveals the conditions during the festival. The Houston Police Department releasing the final report on the Astroworld Festival that led to the deaths of 10 people. The report revealing the lens many concertgoers made trying to get help. 22-year-old Christopher Gates told investigators several people were dehydrated because there weren't enough water stations. The report states, quote, he tried to start chanting the crowd calling for medics and to stop the show. He said medics didn't show for 15 to 20 minutes, and when they did, he recalled seeing one crying while doing CPR. Investigators interviewed dozens of people.
How is it possible they was held back? Look, this whole thing, a lot of these government officials and these entertainers are all in cahoots together. You'd be surprised. Behind the scenes, a lot of these people, they all know each other, especially at the top of politics and even the police departments and police chiefs and all these people. You'd be surprised how much they're in cahoots together. They had a show called Ray Donovan on, I think it was on HBO, if I'm not mistaken. And he was out in Hollywood, and they call him a fixer. And, you know, a lot of these people at the top commit a lot of crimes and do a lot of dirt. And they need people to help each other when some things go awry. And the same things happen here. And when somebody sacrifices or killed, you know, you need a cover-up. You need help from the top. And these people all help each other. There's no doubt about it.
Attendance for the reports, many of them under a court-issued gag order preventing them from speaking. In a statement to KPRC, an attorney who represents hundreds.
As you can see, there was a portal actually on the screen taking you to another dimension. And that's what things was like to represent the souls being transferred somewhere else. You can see this is what you would call a hell of a picture. Literally. Like, you really was going into the depths of hell when you went to the astro world. There was a lot of satanic symbolism. And it was a huge demonic spirit over the crowd. I've seen a lot of interviews from a lot of the concert goers, and they were saying that, man, this whole concert, the whole festival was full of demonic imagery and full of demonic energy. So, you know, when you say these things are sacrifices, that's not a far reach, especially considering these people religious beliefs.
Of attendees said the reports, while important for the public to see, simply confirms what we already feared and have discovered in the course of the lawsuits, that the organizers and promoters of the concert failed to properly plan, valuing profitability over the obvious safety concerns that proved fatal.
And people who just wanted to see their favorite artist, or maybe not even their favorite artist, but just wanted to go to an iconic Houston festival, didn't get to leave.
No, they didn't. And a lot of those people who was at that concert, they're not God. They don't believe in God. I'm not saying that, they're the worst people on the planet, but when you don't have, the spirit of God on you, or that belief, that foundation of a belief system, your ass is grass when you start going into these environments. Yeah, you really are. Remember on the movie Blade when that man went down in there? That little godless man went down at the bottom on Blade 1, and it was nothing but vampires in there. When you don't have the coverage of God, you can't see these things. The common sense goes out the window. Your vision, your instincts, and your intuition, all that shit, you need all that. And when you don't believe in God, none of that shit, like there's people who believed in God and say, you know what, this concert, I ain't going. There was people who did not go and it saved their life. And these people all went, and they all died, unfortunately for them.
A security guard spoke with detectives about Astro Festival, saying he has been a guard for a number of music festivals, but none like this. Live at NRG Park, Roman Logan, KPRC, 2 weeks.
For a while.
You heard him say, none like this. He never seen probably that much demonic shit going on in the crowd. But, that's the world we live in. Modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, a.k.a. Babylon. Let's look at this next clip. Whistleblower tells Congress the U.S. is concealing multiple decades of covering up aliens. Now, me personally, I don't believe in this shit whatsoever. I think this whole thing is a ruse. You telling me that spacecrafts are flying across the universe, traveling at light speed to get here to do 85 and crash. So now you're telling me the aliens are drinking and driving. They can't even drive. They can fly across the universe perfectly fine, but they get to Earth and then they forget how to fly. And all of a sudden they just, they pick up a bottle of gin and add some juice and now they crashing. Get out of here with that shit. Let's take a look at the clip.
Americans are deeply interested in this issue, and it shouldn't take.
Let me ask you this. What did you just see right there? What you want me to do with that? You just showed me 2 black dots. Show me an alien looking out the window, somebody looking at the alien, and then somebody flips somebody off, and then the alien lands and gets out and start dancing. Show me, I need to see real life proof of an alien. Look at this again. Let me ask you a question. What exactly? What is that? What? That look like a paper plane and a hockey puck. What do you want me to do with that? This is what y'all believe in. You alien niggas and all you alien people, this is what you believe in. A hockey puck in a paper plane. I don't know what that is. You can't, you have to be, you have to be a person who has to have more proof. I could be wrong. It can be full of aliens. The Earth could be, aliens could be coming from all across the universe, just coming straight to Earth. But by God, I need more proof than this than a hockey puck.
In this issue, and it shouldn't take the potential of non-human origin to bring us together.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena, a formal term.
Yeah. Once again, what is this? Man, I don't know if that's a Tic Tac or a potato spud. I don't know what that is. Is that Joe Montana throwing a football? I don't know. What do you want me to do with this? That ain't no goddamn, I'm sorry. If this is the evidence you coming with, you got to come better than that. My bad. I went to the wrong damn thing.
Americans are deeply.
It's now at the center of U.S. Congress. House lawmakers.
And once again, what was this? Wait a minute.
The potential of non-human.
Now watch the last one.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena, a formal term for U.F.Os, now at the center of U.S. Congress.
What do you want me to do with that? The bitch doing 60 miles an hour. I mean, you come across the universe and you're doing 60. And then you got slave on the side of the screen. So now I'm a slave to propaganda. I don't know what you want me to do with that. What is that? Is that a drone? I don't know what it is. You can't tell me you know what that is. Damn sure ain't no UFO.
House lawmakers addressing lack of transparency and fueled speculation surrounded by UFOs.
The lack of transparency regarding UAPs has fueled wild speculation and debate for decades, eroding public trust in the very institution.
Now they didn't change the name to UAPs. Unidentified aerial phenomenon. Come on, man. They try to make it sound more mysterious than UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomenons. Get out of here.
They're meant to serve and protect them.
Whistleblower David Grush, a former military intelligence.
He was the one supposed to be the whistleblower. Now, he comes from, I think, like top secret military, across the board. He's one of the people. And then you telling me, as a person who has access to top secret military materials, that you can just come out publicly. And man, this whole thing is a ruse. They let him out. And I've said that before about this guy. This guy is a fucking scam artist. This is a con artist. And they put him out there. They said, what's the most believable face? They put his face out there. To me, he's the least believable. The man says that we got all type of alien bodies and all. Man, get out of here.
Sir, testified to Congress of non-human remain.
Once again, what is this? I don't see no. What is this?
After recent claims of alien spacecraft hitting.
You got a potato spud?
Biologics came from some of these recoveries.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human.
Former Navy
Look
planes.
at non-human. Yeah, very, very, very non-human. You guys. There was a lizard man. There was a man. He was half cactus and half man. He was spikes and shit, thorns and shit hanging out of his face. You've never seen nothing like that. Get out of here, non-human.
Right braves recounting frequent encounters with UAPs.
Two F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. Object, described as a dark gray or black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter.
So the average human, I think it's like 5 foot. Our man's like 5'9", something like that. But he said the spacecraft was 5 feet, between 5 feet and 15 feet. So you got these baby spacecraft out here that's flying across the universe. Listen to me, if you flying this shit from across the universe with 5 feet, where do you store the food at? Where's the water? Where's everything? Where's everything you need in this little bitty baby 5 foot? I'm 6'2", so the spacecraft was no bigger than was smaller, because possibly smaller than me. I just don't believe y'all. I need more evidence.
Mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned base.
David Marler with the National UFO Historical Record Center demanding evidence to these claims.
See what I mean?
As dramatic as the testimony was, it is just a narrative. I look for evidence to support extraordinary claims. We should enter into the UFO subject with skepticism.
I agree with him. You got to enter in that shit with skepticism. I'm a huge skeptic. Yeah, I don't believe none of it at this point. And as you can see, if you're looking at this, you have to be honest. You don't see nothing there. There's no there. There's not even a Care Bear. There's nothing there. Lord have mercy. Let's look at this. Tim Scott criticized Governor DeSantis. Let me tell you what I like about DeSantis. He's an open racist. I like my racism out, open, and in the public. Don't be hiding it. Don't be half-stepping it. Don't be faking it. Come on out with it. I said this before about Tim Scott and DeSantis. Basically, they're practicing for the next election, because unless something drastic happens with Donald Trump, neither one of them are going to beat Donald Trump out for to be the candidate for the Republican Party. No way, no how. But it is good practice. But I wonder with DeSantis. Look, you don't need a lot of black vote, but God damn it, you need some. Ron DeSantis is the type of politician that seems like he goes scorched earth. You can't go scorch earth because you might have to go back and you might actually have to eat off that land. He's scorching that shit. Yeah, he's going like he's Alexander the Great of Macedonia. He's going scorched earth, and that's something that he probably. I think somebody said that he looked back and he realized that going scorched earth is never a good idea because sometimes you want to go back, but he doesn't. Excuse me. He doesn't even know how to play like he's not racist. He said being a slave was basically a good thing. You learn how to be a carpenter. Damn all the raping and killing and mutilating and all that. Because there's no doubt that black people came out of slavery. They were fantastic at a lot of different things. But by God, we was fantastic at a lot of things before slavery. We didn't need to be beaten, raped, killed, and mutilated to be great. As you can still see today, we don't need that to be great. But he's trying to paint a picture about slavery and what happened in the past. Why he would do that at this particular time, I don't know. Because yes, you might can rally a core base of Republicans, who might be far to the right, but you need more centrist Republicans too. You can't just have all far right Republicans. That's not enough to win. So I wonder, is he actually really serious about being president? Let's take a look at the clip.
There's no silver lining in slavery. It's kind of an odd thing to have to say in 2023. Of course, there was no silver lining in slavery, but that's what South Carolina Republican Senator Tim Scott said when asked by a reporter about Florida's new Black history curriculum at a campaign stop in Iowa.
Let me say this. For Tim Scott, this is the last thing he wants to be talking about is race. But because he is a Black American Negro, he's forced to talk about this because, this is so blatant that Tim Scott is shocked that he's even having to talk about this because remember, he's running as a Republican. You have people on the far right. You have people that get closer and closer to the center where, they might vote Democrat one election and another election they might vote Republican. So you need all those swing voters. And being a Black man, he 100% needs some Black voters. 100% across the board, he needs some Black voters. So he's forced to come out and basically denounce DeSantis' comments. And if DeSantis keeps it up, he's got to denounce DeSantis altogether. Then, even if he was able to somehow beat out DeSantis or something drastic happens with Donald Trump, those people who are on the very, very far right, he'll never get them. So he would never legitimately have a chance. But it's interesting to see Tim Scott, who's a Republican himself. So he doesn't want to talk about race. He wants to talk about self-improvement. There's no doubt about that.
There's no silver lining in freedom in slavery. Slavery was really.
See him stutter? There's no silver lining in freedom. I mean slavery. He's not even comfortable talking about this particular topic. He doesn't want to. He's a Republican out of South Carolina. Yeah, he does not want to be talking about this.
Separating families, mutilating humans, and raping their lives. It's devastating. So I would hope that every person in our country and running for president would appreciate that. And
they don't.
Sometimes they regret what they say, and we should ask them again to clarify the issues.
Yeah, that wasn't a.
And he said they should ask DeSantis again to clarify their position. But Ron DeSantis, he feels how he feels. They just signed a lot of this shit into law. I don't know what he's talking about. Clarify his position. Ain't nothing to clarify, nigga. He is who he is, and he's saying what he's saying, and he's standing on that shit. Hell, you talking about? I don't know what Tim Scott is talking about. But like I said, I understand because Tim Scott is stuck between a rock and a hard place. As a Black conservative Republican, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is not what he want to be discussing. He don't want to be discussing nothing about only Black people in general because that hurts you in these elections. When you're a Negro and you're running for anything, you have to talk about everybody. You can never try to just focus on the Negro. That hurts you. Now, would we like that for him to just focus on the Negro? Absolutely. Should they? Yes, but you can't win no election if you're serious. No. And then you need donors and all that shit. No. And Tim Scott is he's a through and through politician. So. And what that means, they all crooked and dirty at the core. But Tim Scott comes across as a well, clean-cut guy. That's how he comes across. But behind the scenes, all of these guys are basically men who crawling through the sewer with white suits on and claiming they're not getting dirty.
Day. And actually, Ron DeSantis doesn't regret saying it. Ron DeSantis
He does it.
or at least believes that Florida public school kids should be subjected to it because his handpicked school board approved this guidance for teaching African American history. Quote, how slaves developed skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit, end quote. Ron DeSantis' school board has also approved the use of videos made by Prager University, which is not actually a university at all. It's a conservative content mill in Florida public schools. The Southern Poverty Law Center has called Prager's videos, quote, dog whistles to the extreme right. Joining me now is the president of the National Education Association.
You know, I'm not really going to sit here and listen to this lady because obviously in the back you see her little flag at the top. What her real agenda is, because believe you me, that was set there on purpose over her left shoulder. There's no doubt about that. So, you know, these type of people, I don't really listen to that because he's here really just to bash Ron DeSantis, which, you know, he's an open racist. That's a good thing for black people to have. They should know what they, you know, getting going in. That's a good thing. But as you can see, she has the alphabet flag right over her shoulder. That's neither here nor there, but we know what her agenda is. I'm not even going to go into that and listen to her. But look at this. Governor Pritzker, alongside rapper Meek Mill, signed new Illinois bills into law. Look, number one, Meek Mills is now from Illinois. Number two, anytime they put a rapper's face on a bill, you have to be, as a Negro, you got to be suspect. You got to scratch your head and your Negro spidey senses have to start tingling. Governor Pritzker, I ain't buying it. Something ain't right. Let's take a look at the clip.
Who received support from a local rapper and activist while signing a criminal justice reform bill. That new law changes Illinois' supervised release system. It gives former inmates a better chance to succeed outside of prison, and it reduces the likelihood they'll be sent back.
And the thing about that is that a lot of times when it comes to these bills, the devil is in the detail. You have to read the fine print. And I guarantee you, somewhere in the fine print is some kind of poison pill. It's something that's going to negatively affect the black community in Chicago somehow, some way. But you won't see it until far afterwards. You know why? Because they post these niggas out here to cause confusion, chaos, and it's a huge distraction. And it keeps Negroes from but there are Negroes now. I don't want to say there are a lot of Negroes who will get in there now. They get their mind dirty, get right in there and start reading all this shit because it's a lot. But my common sense tells me Meek Mills ain't from Illinois. He's from Philadelphia. Meek Mills is a rapper. And then they throw him out there and it just makes no sense. You try to get some understanding on that. Chicago has a lot of problems. They need programs for the youth. They have a lot of things that's going on in Chicago, a lot of chicanery that's happening around Chicago and in Chicago. That a bill like this about people getting out of jail, there's nothing wrong with a bill to help people get out of jail, you know, to help, you know, reintroduce them into the world where they're working and getting, but all that's cool. But you need to help the youth. And they need programs in them cities to help the youth. The YMCAs and all that stuff. That stuff, you know, it wasn't perfect, but it helped. You need more of that type of stuff. But, you know, it is what it is.
Rapper Meek Mills, who went to prison several times, says the bill will help others like him.
You know, you go to prison several times. Usually you're an idiot. Well, luckily for Meek Mills, he's a talented idiot. You know what I mean? He can rap his ass off. So, but you should never go to prison several times. Period, point blank.
Since evidence-based criminal justice reform
that improves public safety, decreases taxpayer costs, and lowers the likelihood of reincarceration. Before this, you know, we get.
I mean, how do you take this man serious? He got on a hat, a ball cap, a t-shirt, a black t-shirt, and he probably got on some black Air Force Ones. Like when you get a bill passed, you expect the motherfucker to show up in a suit. Now, I just seen this jive ass at that the rich white man. They showed him too. rich white man who had the all-white party. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But they just was at an all-white party. They was dressed to the T. Everybody was nice. Now the motherfucker looked like he just got out of jail. He got braids, just halfway braided. He looked like motherfucking CJ out Grand Theft Auto. Look at this wacky ass shit, man. Come on, man. But they have on all black. And that's part of their religious beliefs. They are Luciferian. So, I'm not shocked, but I would think, goddamn, you get a law pass, you dress up better than that, wouldn't you?
Be better to act out. They give us more money when you do crazy stuff in the industry. I'm the one that's a little bit older in the middle, and I'm trying to hold the line.
The legislation will go into effect January 1st.
That's the white man I was talking about. I can't think his name. But he throws like one of the biggest all-white parties and all the celebrities and everybody's there. And they had a picture of him and Lil Baby and all these people he hugged up and they nut to butt and all that old sick, disgusting shit that's going on. But he's another one. And you can see he's in all black. So, yeah, I don't trust nothing these people are doing. But it is what it is. Let's take a look at this. Beyonce's mom, Tina Knowles, files for divorce from her actor ex-husband now. Richard, what was his name?
Richard. Enough to terminate the chances of that either one of them could get spousal support. They're going to walk away.
What's his last name? Richard Lawson.
She's asking to restore her name to Tina Knowles.
Let's take a look at this again.
Interestingly enough, to terminate the chances of that either one of them could get spousal support, they're going to walk away, cut their losses.
Here's the weirdest thing to me. She's asking to restore her name to Tina Knowles.
Of course she is. She never really left. She still loves her husband. They had, they made Beyonce out of that. So she's never really got over that. She married that man out of spite. And look, will she find another husband? It's highly likely. She will. It might be an afterlife because she's fucking 75 years old, but she will get another husband. But look, when you marry these type of people, there's no doubt that Beyonce's mom indulges in witchcraft like her daughter indulges in witchcraft and Luciferianism. Hey, man, these women feel like they mother goddesses. As a mother goddess, she'll never bow to no man. There's no doubt about it. So it is what it is. Obviously, this other guy, Richard Lawson, married this woman. Biggest mistake of his life. He's wasted. Listen to me. He only had maybe 18, 19 years left. He wasted 12 messing with Beyonce's mom. Yeah. Now he's going to go back and try to get something younger. But he won't have much time left because now he's an old man.
Which is her old married name.
You want to go by the most notable name that recognizes you.
As a man, I would be kind of pissed off you're using my name even though you're divorced.
Yeah. But also as a man, you would change your name.
And her ex-husband actually, when they got divorced, he married younger. So he went young. These old niggas gonna go young on your ass.
You had a really famous wife.
Wait, what? No, I'm not taking the woman's last name.
Why wouldn't you? Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Because that's...
Hear that shit? He said, I'm not taking the woman's last name. And all of the women looked at him and said, why wouldn't you? The same reason why you couldn't get no man to take your last name. Not one of them women up there can get no man on the planet Earth to take their last name. None of them. So for them to ask him that question is asinine, ridiculous, and absurd. Listen to that shit one more time. Listen. And I want you to look at every single one of them women.
What? No, I'm not taking the woman's last name.
Why wouldn't you?
Look at this frumpy dog dressed like a fucking pumpkin with a tank top with half her belly hanging out the side. And look at this one at the top. Look like she might have been born a male. And you yelling out, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Neither one of y'all can get a man to take y'all last name. What in the hell has this country come to? Look at that frumpy, dumpy, sloppy dog at the bottom. Unbelievable that rag doll would have the audacity to ask the black man, why wouldn't you take a woman's last name? Let's listen to the black man's answer.
Because that's not traditional.
Yeah, he's the cameraman, and he's in there getting pushed around. And he's talking about, oh. He should have told everybody, shut up, but he can't. You take these jobs, you part of this corporate structure, you ain't nothing but a whipping boy.
Guys, we don't have to worry about this with
key.
Wait a minute. Now look at this lady. Look at this lady. Look at this lady. Now look at this fat toad. Look at this jack in the box. I mean, the bitch got 18-inch python arms. The audacity of some of these people. Ma'am, your nose look like an Evil Knievel ramp. How in the, you can't get no man to take your last name. How the hell is your nose bigger than your breast? Only in America. Unbelievable.
We don't have to worry about this with Keith.
Keith has a girlfriend, and I'm sure Keith's girlfriend wants.
First of all, they're on the rocks.
And she said his little relationship was on the rocks. That's irrelevant, black man. Who cares if your relationship on the rocks? As long as you know you ain't taking no woman's last name. Let's take a look at this last clip. Putin pledges free grain to Africa. Hey, ain't nothing free. Look, the Russians are in what you would call a quandary. They're in a hell of a position right now. They need all of the moral support they possibly can get. But there's no way in hell that the Russians are all of a sudden giving out free grain and car radios. Let's take a look.
И всея Руси Кирилл, модератор пленарного заседания, директор Института Африки Российская.
На первые 6 месяцев мы будем готовы уже в ближайшие месяцы.
He said we are prepared to provide grain to all these free African countries, Burka, Zambia, Mali, Somalia, Central African Republic, Eritrea. They said between 25,000 and 50,000 tons of grain, free of charge in the next 3 or 4 months. We also provide free delivery of these products to consumers. Hey, there's always a catch. It might be free on the front end, but your funky ass is going to pay on the back end. We know Africa has a lot of natural resources. Hey, they're going to set up shop. They're going to have you the free grain. We're going to build a few buildings. We're going to be right here. And then when it's time for these natural resources, we'll be right here first in line. That's all he said. Look at him. Heard that before. He said, look at the African. The African looked like I heard that before.
А значит, именно Россия вносит существенный вклад в глобальную продовольственную безопасность и является солидным, ответственным международным поставщиком сельхозпродукции. И те, кто утверждают, что это не так, что только обеспечение вот этой так называемой зерновой сделки по вывозу украинского зерна, просто извращают факты, говорят неправду.
But like I said before, ain't nothing free in this world. Either you're going to pay on the front end or your ugly ass is going to pay on the back end. But regardless of the point, you're going to pay. This has been Sports Life and Politics TV. I'm in for the news. I'm Samuel Koppel, YouTube's #1 couch detective. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took your ass. Ain't no way in hell a black man should take a woman's last name ride.